Hello, everyone. I'm Alana, and today I am pointing out the top 10 fastest dying cities in the United States as of 2024. These cities, once flourishing with industry and life, now face starkly different realities. We'll uncover the reasons behind their decline. Even the U.S. population has been steadily rising, but the opposite is happening in some cities, where the number of people living there is going down. In the past few years, big cities like New York have seen big drops in population, but now those drops have stopped and new cities have grown in their place. And coming at top of our list is Jackson in Mississippi, a city with a story that reflects some of the most pressing urban challenges in America today. Known for its rich history and cultural significance, Jackson is currently grappling with severe economic and social issues. The city has witnessed a dramatic population decrease, with a 2.5% drop between July 2021 and July 2022. One of the most critical issues it faces is the famous water problem. The city has been officially put on boil water, starting in 2014 and continuing. The city's attempt to switch its water supply led to elevated levels of lead and chlorine, posing a serious public health risk. As late as December 2022, another boil water warning had to be sent out because a winter storm froze and broke pipes in the city's water infrastructure. As of 2023, many locals won't use the city's water. About 150,000 people in Jackson didn't have access to clean water as of late 2022. Now, that's a pretty big number for a city with an urban population of 436,000. The water situation is one of the city's biggest problems, but it's not the only one. Economically, about 40% more people are unemployed than the national average, and about 25% of the people there live below the poverty line. The city's Black community, in particular, has been hit hard, facing obstacles that include discrimination. It's awful to live in Jackson, Mississippi. The infrastructure is really bad here. Schools have been underfunded, leading to a lack of educational opportunities. The weather is awful here. It's just not a nice spot. Second place takes us far north to Anchorage in Alaska, a city facing unique challenges despite its picturesque setting. Anchorage has been experiencing a notable population decline in recent years. This decrease is partly attributed to an aging population and the exodus of younger residents seeking opportunities elsewhere. The city, historically known for steady population growth, has seen a shift in this trend. It has been slowly going down since the 1980 census. They lost 2% of their population in the 2020 census. They lost 1.4% of their people in 2022, just that 1 year. The rate of living is one of the main issues, which is strange for this place. They have a bad crime rate. 68% more crimes happen there than in the rest of the country. The crime rate for violent crimes is 211% higher than it was, and the crime rate for property crimes is 41% higher. The prices of homes are another reason I believe Anchorage is dying. The median home list price is $389,573 in 2023, up 5.6% from the previous year. The expense of importing goods to Alaska makes daily life costly for its residents. Additionally, the harsh weather conditions, characterized by long, dark winters, add to the city's challenges. The good news about Anchorage is that only 8.8% of its people live below the poverty line. That's a good thing. That's the lowest of almost every big city in the U.S. Despite these hurdles, the city's beauty and unique location continue to draw tourists and nature enthusiasts. Next is the Cleveland in Ohio. Once a manufacturing titan, the city is now confronting the harsh realities of industrial decline. Job losses and economic downturns have led to a significant decrease in population. With a population of 573,000 in 1980, the population dropped even more to 372,624 by 2020. Cleveland is the most stressed-out city in the nation, and the main causes are financial stress, health, and safety stress. How much does the middle class and normal person in Cleveland make? The middle-income family makes $33,678 a year, while the average household income is $49,942 a year. The city's tax base has shrunk, and resources for public services are stretched thin. Cleveland's story is one of resilience in the face of adversity, as it strives to reinvent itself in a post-industrial world. Number 7 takes us to St. Louis, Missouri. Known as the Gateway to the West, the city now faces the challenge of reversing its declining trajectory. The population has dropped by 2.4%, making it the city with the second highest population drop in the country. A big reason for this drop is that people are leaving the city altogether. Between April 2020 and July 2022, St. Louis and the 14 counties around the city lost about 19,000 residents. The first reason has to do with money. It is well known that high sales tax and a high income tax on residents and workers. The city also has a lot of rules for businesses, which is why it's not known for being business-friendly. A lot of big companies, like McDonnell Douglas, TWA, Southwestern Bell, and Purina, have already cut back on their presence in the area. The second reason has to do with how dangerous it is. The rate of serious crime is 14.96 per 1,000 people. The rate of property crime is 55 per 1,000 people, and the rate of all crimes is 70 per 1,000 people. All of these rates are much higher than the state average. Lastly, public schools aren't very good. In fact, half of the state's worst public schools. Halfway through our list, we encountered Detroit in Michigan. Well, that's not a surprise. Once the thriving Motor City, a symbol of American industrial prowess, Detroit, Michigan, now grapples with poverty, crime, and urban decay. Once the proud heart of America's auto industry has faced a dramatic reversal of fortune. Economic shifts, industrial restructuring, and racial tensions have transformed this bustling metropolis into a shadow of its former self. Detroit saw its population, once nearly 2 million, but that number has gone down in every census since then. However, from 2010 to 2020, Detroit dropped 74,666 residents, compared to nearly 237,500 people in the previous 10 years. Now population in 2023 is 637,321. It's currently estimated that it will fall to just 610,000 people by 2030, shocking. With entire neighborhoods abandoned and public services strained, Detroit's challenges are a testament to the impact of economic and social changes on urban life. Sixth city on my list is Johnstown, Pennsylvania, which also has a history rooted in coal and steel. The shift away from these industries has had profound effects on all the cities that relied on these industries. Johnstown's population has seen a significant decrease, and the city faces the added challenge of an aging population. With total population of 17,848 people, population has dropped by -2.84% since the last census. It's currently decreasing at a rate of -0.72% per year. With limited job opportunities and a struggling local economy, Johnstown's story is a poignant reminder of the impact of industrial decline on small American cities. Next on my list is Flint in Michigan, a city that was once the backbone of America's automobile industry. The closure of major auto plants in the late 20th century was the first blow, leading to widespread job losses. The city's population has dwindled significantly from its peak, and the water crisis of recent years further compounded these challenges. City had 163,143 people living there in 1950, but now there are only 80,628. This is a drop of 50%. In that time, the city went from having the 60th most people in the U.S. to having the 438th most people in the U.S. Between 2020 and 2021, the typical household income rose from $30,383 to $32,358. And there are too many poor kids in Flint, more than half of them. New figures from the U.S. Census Bureau show that it's the poorest city of its size in the country. With a median household income significantly lower than the national average and a housing market that's seen better days, Flint's struggle is a stark reminder of the fragility of industrial cities. At number 8, we find Gary, Indiana. Similar to Youngstown, Gary was once buoyed by the steel industry. Its decline, however, left the city grappling with economic hardship and population loss. The city, which once thrived with job opportunities, now struggles with high crime rates and infrastructural decay. In 2024, 66,765 people live in Gary. Its population has dropped by -3.03% since the last census. It is currently falling at a rate of -0.77% per year. About 32.04% of households are poor, with an average income of $46,828. Over time, advances in automation led to a great reduction in the need for actual steel workers. When I was in Gary, locals told me that the steel mill still remains busy and productive. Unless they were able to attract some sort of other industry, I don't think this town can be restored to its former glory. Moving east at number 9, we land in Youngstown, Ohio. This city's tale is emblematic of the American industrial heartland's decline. Once a powerhouse in steel production, the collapse of the industry in the 1970s marked the beginning of a steep decline. Youngstown's population has plummeted by almost 60% since its heyday in the 1950s. In 2024, there are 59,297 people living in Youngstown. Its population has dropped by 2.15% since the last census. It is currently falling at a rate of 0.54% per year. And about 35.3% of the people are considered poor. 20.2K out of 57.3K people live below the poverty line. This is higher than the national average of 12.6%. Houston's challenges are a different nature. It's by far the worst Texas city, however. Recent years have painted a different picture. The city has been grappling with a series of challenges, including a rising violent crime rate, which is now 221% above the national average, and often hate crimes happen there. That's pretty bad. Alongside this, Houston's poverty rate, sitting at 20.6%, it's 16% in the rest of Texas, shows the social issues facing the city. Furthermore, Houston is dealing with environmental concerns, the heat, humidity, and hurricanes, intensified by climate change. The shift in remote work for tech workers, coupled with the extreme high cost of living in the area, is leading to a population shift. The average price of a house is $260,000, which is 3% more than last year. On top of all that good stuff, Houston is thought to be one of the worst places in the U.S. for walking, as shown by their high rate of obesity. The best public transportation in the U.S. is a big reason why people will move to Houston in the future. In the end, it's clear that each city's story is unique, yet they share common themes of industrial decline, economic hardship, and the search for renewal. Thank you for joining me on this insightful exploration. Let's carry forward the lessons learned and the hope for revitalization in these once great American cities.